Morning students, how are you all? I hope you are fine and doing good. So today students, I have come up with a new chapter from the literature and particularly from the book Honeydew. So here I am going to explain chapter number 6. This is Jody's Fawn. So now let us see what is in the chapter. Explanation of the chapter. This is Jody's Fawn. Okay, so here Jody is the name of a boy, a small boy. Okay, and we are talking about the fawn of Jody. I hope you all know what is fawn. Fawn is the baby deer. Okay, the baby of deer or the baby of doe is known as fawn. So now let's begin. The lesson begins with Jody being unable to keep the fawn out of his mind. Okay, so lesson starts here. Jody, the name of that particular boy, small boy, he is unable to keep himself out of the sight of fawn. That means the thoughts of fawn constantly reaches his mind. Then he expresses his concern to his father Penny, who was resting as he had just been saved from death. Okay, so since he was going on thinking about fawn and he was unable to keep himself out of his mind, okay, he was unable to keep the fawn out of his mind, Jody went to his father to express his concern, okay, to express his feelings. And who was his father? His father was Penny. Okay, and what was Penny doing? He was resting on a bed. Why was he resting? He was resting on the bed because he had just been saved from death. That means he was about to die and he was just saved from death. So now what happened to him? Why was he saved from death? The reason was that he was bitten by a rattlesnake. Okay, so he was bitten by a rattlesnake. And what is rattlesnake? Rattlesnake is a poisonous American snake. Fine. He was bitten by a rattlesnake and Jody killed the doe to use its heart and liver to extract poison out of his father's wound. Okay, so when a rattlesnake kills or when a rattlesnake bites someone, then in order to extract the poison from that injured person, they need the heart and liver of a doe. Okay, they need a doe and its heart and liver in order to extract the poison out of the victim's body. Clear? So, what had Jody done? Jody had killed a doe. Doe means a female deer. So, Jody had killed a doe and used its heart and liver to extract the poison out of his father's wound. Wound means zakham. Fine? Next. The doe had a fawn. Okay, and the doe had a little baby. And Jody was worried about it. And Jody was worried about it because now the doe is dead. Okay, that means the mother deer is dead. And now the fawn, the baby deer, is left behind all alone in the jungle. So how would he survive? It will not be able for the fawn to survive. And this was the reason which kept Jody worried all the time. Clear? Next. She wanted to bring it home and raise it. So what did Jody want? Jody wanted to bring that little fawn home and raise it. Raise it means use bada karna. Fine? Okay. Then Jody went to his father and he told him about his concern. Yes or no? Then Penny thought it would be ungrateful. Penny thought it would be ungrateful of them to leave the fawn to starve, and thus he agreed. Okay, so when Jody told to his father that I am going to bring the fawn because it is not good that we have left it all alone in the jungle, then Penny thought it would be ungrateful for them, that means for both for father and for the son, to leave the fawn to starve, and thus he agreed. Okay, starve means तड़पना भूख से. Okay, so his father thought that it would be ungrateful of them to leave the fawn to starve, and thus he agreed. And at last he agreed. Fine? Okay. Then there were two more people by the name Millville and Doc Wilson. Okay, Millville and Doc Wilson, they were the friends to Jody's father, and even both of them, they agreed upon bringing the fawn back home. So, next day, Jody convinces his mother about the same, who at first is reluctant, but on hearing the views of Millville and Doc Wilson, agrees to let Jody bring home. Now see here. So, now how many of them have agreed? Penny, that means Jody's father, Jody, okay, Doc Wilson, and Millville. Fine. So these four people have agreed upon bringing the fawn back home. So now, who is the last one? The last one is Jody's mother. So next, Jody convinces his mother about the same means about bringing the fawn home, who at first is reluctant, who at first was totally against it, okay, against the views and decision of Jody. But later, on hearing the views of Doc Wilson, Millville and Doc Wilson, agrees to let Jody bring it home. Okay, that means both Millville and Doc Wilson convinced Jody's mother upon bringing the fawn back home. And when his mother heard that both of them also agreed to the point of bringing the fawn and raising it up, then she agreed. Fine? Okay. Now, bring it home. Yes. She was okay with it if Jody would give it his share of milk, as they had nothing else to feed the fawn. Okay. So here Jody's mother says that I will let you bring only on the condition that if you share your own milk, okay, your own glass of milk with the fawn, because there is nothing left in my kitchen to feed the fawn. Fine? And Jody happily agreed. So now, the next day they had gone to bring the fawn from the jungle. Now, Millville gave Jody a ride on his horse. So, Millville told Jody, you come along with me, I have a horse, and let us go deep into the forest to find the fawn. And Jody, he agreed, and he sat on the horse back in order to move forward. And then what happened? And then suddenly Jody realized he did not want company. So when they moved further, then Jody realized that I should not go with my uncle. I should not go with Millville. Fine? Now, he told to his uncle that, uncle, please go back home. I want to go and bring the fawn back home all alone. And then his uncle denied in the beginning, because it is obvious that the elderly would never leave a small boy into the jungle all alone, because he was also scared that there are many wild animals and many reptiles and all in the jungle. So it means the Jody might be in trouble. Okay, so Millville, he denied sending him all alone. And moreover, even Penny and Jody's mother would be worried about Jody if Millville would have left him all alone in the jungle. But Jody was so confident, he told to his uncle that you need not to worry about me. I will take care of myself. I will handle myself. I would find the fawn and I would come back home. In case I don't return home by late evening, you can come and search me. Okay. Then after convincing his uncle, after much convincing, his uncle agreed. And then his uncle went back home. Clear? So now, what was the reason that Jody didn't want his uncle to go along with him? So let's see now. The reason was that he did not want anyone to see his disappointment if he was unable to find the phone. Okay. The reason was that Jody didn't want his uncle to see his disappointment if Jody is unable to find the phone. Okay. If Jody is unable to find the phone, he would become disappointed and perhaps he would cry. So he didn't want his uncle to see his disappointment. This was the first reason. And the second reason was that he did not want to share his loving moment on finding it either. Okay. And the other reason was that had Jody found the phone, he didn't want to share his happiness with anyone. The first reason was that if he was unable to find the phone, he didn't want to show his disappointment to anyone. And the other reason was that if Jody would have found the phone, he didn't want to share his happiness with anyone else. He want only he and the phone to share that happiness. So these were the two reasons why he asked his uncle to go back home. Fine? Thus he sent Millville away. Clear all of you? Okay. Next. Now, Jody begins searching for the phone and sees a group of buzzards near the killed doe, who he scares away by throwing a bow. Now see here. Jody started searching for the phone. Okay? And when he saw there was a group of buzzards, buzzard means you can say scavengers who eats on the flesh of dead animals. Fine? Jody saw a group of buzzards near the killed doe, and then he could understand that yes, the fawn must be somewhere around here. Then what did Jody do? He scares away all the buzzards by throwing a bow. Bow means a small stick, neither too small nor too large. Okay, that's called a bow. Now see here. When he saw the buzzards near the dead doe, he understood that the fawn must be somewhere around here. How could he estimate that? He could estimate because a small baby would never leave its mother. And since the mother lied dead there, the baby must also be somewhere around the dead body. So Jody understood that the fawn must be somewhere around here. Okay? Then he continues searching and finally finds a fawn looking at him with his bright eyes. Okay. And then he continues searching and at last he found the fawn. And what was the fawn doing? The fawn was also looking at Jody with his bright eyes. Perhaps the fawn was able to recognize that it was Jody who had killed its mother. That means who had killed the doe. Clear? Next. At first, Jody hesitated to go near him and only extended to caress him. Okay. So at first, Jody hesitated to go near him because if he go to the fawn, all of a sudden, the fawn would be scared and run away. So what did he do? He only extended to caress him. That means he only extended his arms. That means उसने अपना सिर्फ अपने हाथ बढ़ाया, हाथ बढ़ा के फ़ोन को कैरेस करना शुरू किया. कैरेस मीन टू पैट समबडी लविंगली. किसी को बहुत प्यार से हाथों से उसे प्यार करना, जैसे हम अपने पेट को प्यार करते हैं जब भी पाते हैं. ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड कैरेस. सो ही ओनली एक्सटेंडेड हिज आर्म्स और हिज हैंड टू कैरेस द fawn, but it was only when the fawn brought itself near him. Okay, and since the fawn was very, very, very small, she came near Jody. He himself came near Jody. Fine? And then what did Jody do? He carried it. उसने उसे उठा लिया. He carried through the clearings and reached the intersection road towards home. Okay. And then he carried the fawn and he crossed the clearings. Clearings means jungle. Okay. You can imagine that this is the forest. Okay. And here are the trees. These are the trees. But here there is tree, but it has been chopped down. Okay. This is clearings. That means jungle ko kaat dalna. So this area is called clearings. Fine. So he carried the fawn through the clearings and reached the intersection road. Okay, he reached the intersection road toward the home. I think you all know what is intersection. You must have learned this in your geometry. Intersection means the angle the point at which two angles meet together. This is called intersection. Okay. Now see here. This is the main road. Fine. This is the main road. And this is the way to the jungle. So Jody, he came. Okay. And he reached here. He reached here. Okay. This is intersection. Understood? So he carried it through the clearings and reached the intersection road towards home. So when he reached the intersection home, he kept it down and take rest. Okay, he kept the fawn down because he was really very tired. Why did he keep it down? In order to take rest. But the fawn cried. But the fawn started crying. Now see here, when we take care of the pets, when we carry a kitten or a puppy, fine, and suddenly if we drop them down, that means we didn't throw, but we keep it down. Then what happened? The kitten or the puppy start crying. They start mewing and they start barking. That is called the cries. Clear? So similarly, even the fawn started crying as soon as Jody dropped him down onto the ground. Then Jody remembered that his father told him that a fawn will follow you once you carry it first for a while. Okay. And then before leaving for the forest, Jody's father, Mr. Penny, told Jody that Jody, you must carry a fawn for a while. And after that, if you drop him down, the fawn would follow you. So this is exactly what Jody did. Fine. On the way home, he carried it for some time and let it follow him for a while. And then what did he do? He carried the fawn for a while and then he let the fawn follow him. That means he dropped the fawn down and then the fawn started following Jody. Next. They finally reached home and Jody wanted to show his father that the fawn followed him. Okay. And finally they reached home, both of them. Okay. Here is Jody and behind is the fawn. Fine. They were proceeding towards. Now Jody has reached his home. Okay. And now Jody wanted to show his father that, see father, the fawn is following me. But what happened? The fawn refused to climb the stairs. Since there were stairs, I hope you know what is stairs. It is Siriya. Okay. The fawn refused to climb the stairs. Why? Because he had never climbed the stairs, because he is really very small. The fawn is really very small. Now, but Jody came to know that this fawn is a male. How did he know? He came to know by looking at his body. Like, let us imagine that this is the body of the fawn. Okay? Suppose. Then there was line in the same line. That is called, okay, this line. It was all together in the same line. This shows that the fawn is a male. Now, suppose if you will see the spot on fawn's body, which is not in a sequence, that means not in a line, that means the fawn is a female. But if you find line or spot in the same line, that means the fawn is a boy. Fine. So now Jody, he knew that the fawn is a male, and he wanted him to climb the stairs, but he could not climb the stairs because he was really very small. The fawn was really very small baby. So what did he do? He carried it up the stairs, and his father could see Jody's happiness through his bright eyes. Then he carried the fawn and he took it inside. And when his father saw, he could understand that his son was really very, very happy. Although Jody did not speak even a single word, he did not utter anything, yet his father was able to understand that Jody is really very happy because his bright eyes, okay, that means Jody's bright eyes revealed everything. So now it's time for feeding. Then what did Jody do? Jody then took it to the kitchen and feed it his share of milk. So there was a glass of milk, and then Jody, what did he do? He gave half the milk to the fawn. He fed it the milk patiently till the gourd was left empty. Fine? He gave the fawn to drink, and the fawn drank everything, all the milk, till the gourd was empty. And then Jody was very happy. Everyone in the family was really very happy. Clear, everyone? So here ends the chapter. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. Thank you for watching.